Hello everyone and welcome back to RaceRoom. It's my first video for 2 weeks on RaceRoom's ranked servers, and believe me, it was worth the wait. This race in the Audi TT Cup at Suzuka West is an absolute cracker. We've got 26 drivers on the grid, including 5 from our own SCB sim racing community, and we've qualified pretty well. We've put it on the 3rd row of the grid with a time of 1:21.8, fast enough to start from 5th place. Less than 0.2 of a second behind SCB's newest member, Forbes Graham. He starts from 4th, and we've also got Derek Poon in 10th, Jason Spooner in 11th, and Nick Campbell in 15th. Right, get ready and strap yourselves in for this one, because this is going to be chaotic. 26 cars, a rookie server, Suzuka West. What could possibly go wrong? Let's get down to the grid and find out. These Audis are equipped with launch control, so that does make it easier to get off the line. And as the lights go green, we make a decent start, but then we make a mess of shifting up into second. That hesitancy costs us, and as you can see, we've lost a couple of places already. Thankfully, there's no one on the inside of us, because we're just heading towards this fast left kick now, and you really don't want to be going through there too wide. However, we have got a much faster exit than Fernandez, and we've pulled alongside, although he's much later on the brakes. In fact, he's far too late on the brakes because he's disappeared onto the grass. These 2 corners are really tricky, and I'm actually amazed that we've all got through safely, but we have done, and we're back into 5th place. We've maintained our starting position. That leading pack have opened up a 1 second advantage, but if you look in the rearview mirror, we've just lost Paul Blay, the driver in 6th. He's spun out, so that gives us a little bit of breathing room. It's 0.9 of a second now, back to Gonzalez in 6th. And as we approach the hairpin for the first time, keep your eye on the rearview mirror, because we're going to see a huge accident behind us. And unfortunately, that car barrel rolling into the gravel is one of the SCB drivers. It's Derek Poon, so he's crashed out spectacularly. We'll go back and check out the replay of that in a minute, but for now we're in hot pursuit of this leading 4 and we're losing ground. Look at the gap, it's now 1.9 seconds to Forbes Graham in 4th place. So unless we can up our game here, it looks like that leading 4 may just be a bit too quick for us. So instead we've got to concentrate on dealing with Gonzalez behind in 6th. He's still within a second. So that's the first lap done and dusted, and we've come through it unscathed. No instant points, no damage, and we've managed to hold on to our starting position of 5th. So we've got to consider that a success in this busy rookie server. However, Gonzalez is looking threatening behind, and particularly on the brakes. He's a little bit later again, closes in as we work our way around these 2 sharp right-handers to rejoin the Grand Prix circuit. Really am pushing as hard as I can, but we don't seem to be closing the gap on Forbes Graham in front, and we're certainly not shaking off Gonzalez. But while we've got a little bit of breathing room, let's go back and check out the replay to see what happened on that chaotic lap 1. Back to the grid, and that's me right in the centre of the screen, and we actually get away really well as the lights go green, but the problem comes when we shift up to second. We just leave it a little bit too late. That costs us a lot of momentum, and it allows Fernandez to get past me. We managed to tuck in behind Fernandez going into this fast left kick. And as we approach the slow right-hander, look to the front of your screen, you'll see Fernandez outbraking himself. He's wide out onto the grass. He runs in way too hot. We take the position back. Now we're dealing with Phil Blay in the yellow car. We managed to defend through that section, but Blay's going to lose it here. He's just going to take too much of the curb on the inside. That unsettles the car just a little bit too much, and he can't save it. He's spun out of 6th place. But unfortunately, the bigger accident was still to come as we approach the hairpin for the first time. We're watching Derek Poon, and he takes a big hit from behind. It spins him around onto the curb, and he barrel rolls into the gravel. On board now with Robles, the driver behind him. We can see he just runs it in too hot. He can't stop the car. He's got nowhere to go, and he careers into the back of Derek's Audi. Looking backwards now from Gills on board. He was the driver right in front of this carnage, and it gives us a spectacular view of the incident. But really unfortunate that for Derek. Nothing he could do to avoid that, and it resulted in a lengthy visit to the pits for repairs. We rejoined the live action at the start of lap 3, and as you can see, not much has changed. We're still 2 seconds behind Forbes Graham in 4th, and we've still not been able to shake Gonzalez in 6th. That gap behind is now 0.7 of a second. And if you glance over to the leaderboard, you'll see that the unlucky Derek Poon is still in the pits getting repairs. But look, a few positions further up, Jason Spooner in 22nd is suddenly going to make a load of places. In just a couple of seconds, he's jumped from 22nd to 17th, so something big must have gone down. Let's go back and check out a replay and see if we can see what has happened there. So we're watching Jason in the number 33 car, and it looks like he's around 0.7, 0.8 of a second behind this pack of cars in front. He's currently in 22nd, but we're going to see some absolute mayhem down this start and finish straight. So we're switching to the onboard. We're riding with Jason now as he's in hot pursuit of those cars in front. And it looks like there's three of them really close to each other as they approach this fast left-hander, and this is where it's going to get messy. There's contact, and one car spun out to the right. He's going to come right back across the track. Jason just misses him. There's two more cars off, and then another two spinning off. Miraculously, Jason managed to avoid all of them. There are Audis flying in all directions there, and this is where it started. This is even further up, and there's yet more contact. These two cars spin off, but it's the rejoin that causes the mayhem. The blue number 3 car comes right back across the track. Several drivers have to react at the very last minute to try and avoid him. That causes them to spin out, and we see the resulting crash fest. And Jason was one of the few drivers to come through that one unscathed, and not only that, he gained 5 positions. Spooner up to 17th. Rejoining the live action at the start of lap 4, and we're going to gain a position here, but not through an overtake, through a disconnect. John Flaherty, the driver in second, is going to lose connection. There we can see he's just left the game, so that is unfortunate for Flaherty, but it promotes us up to 4th position. In our rearview mirror, Gonzalez is closer than ever. It's 0.3 of a second now, so Gonzalez is really applying the pressure. But luckily for me, Fernandez is also going to join the battle. He's close to within a couple of tenths of Gonzalez now, and that's going to give Gonzalez something different to think about. Suddenly, instead of chasing me, he's got to think about defending that 5th position. And that's exactly what happened over the next couple of laps. Gonzalez and Fernandez were embroiled in a fantastic battle for that 5th place. You can see me just in front there. But this is Fernandez trying a really risky move up the inside of that left-hander. He goes out onto the grass and he's not able to hold on to the position. He thinks about having another look up the inside into the right-hander, but again, backs out of it. We fast forward in the live action a couple more laps here, and there's now just 5 minutes to go, so we're 2/3 of the way through this race. And as you can see from the leaderboard, that battle behind us really worked to my advantage, because Gonzalez in 5th is now almost 1.5 seconds behind. And look in the rearview mirror, because he's run wide onto the grass, so that's going to give us even more time back. Let's look at the relative board down in the bottom left of the screen. Yeah, we've now got a 2-second advantage over Gonzalez. However, with no pressure, we're going to make our first big mistake in the race, carry way too much speed into this right-hander. We've got no choice but to run out onto the gravel. We give the barrier a whack. We've picked up some suspension damage, and even worse than that, we've been relegated to 6th position. Both Gonzalez and Fernandez are able to get by, and we may even lose another position here, because in the rearview mirror you can see Mikael Zabalos trying to force his way up the inside. There wasn't quite room, and he's had to back out, but yeah, complete disaster. Under no pressure at all. We've thrown away 4th position. Here's a replay of the mistake, and the foundations of it were laid on the previous corner. There, I was carrying too much speed. I almost lost the rear, and that completely ruined my entry into the next right-hander. We ran out too wide. Give the barrier a whack, and we're powerless to stop Gonzalez and Fernandez coming through. We've now got 2.5 minutes left on the clock, so that's probably 2 more laps to go. And as you can see, we've managed to open up a little bit of a gap back to Zabalos behind. He's more than a second back now, and we're trying our best to catch up with these 2 guys in front, but it's proving difficult. Thankfully, the suspension damage doesn't seem to be causing me too many problems at the moment. The car is still handling reasonably well, and look in front, Gonzalez has run out onto the grass again, and that's going to close us right back up. We're out onto the grass wide as well, as we try and get on the gas as quickly as possible to close this gap. Well, the last thing we need is another mistake through this corner, and thankfully we've got through it okay, and we're now within 0.6 of a second of Fernandez in 5th, so we're closing in here, and if we can just get a nice smooth line through this hairpin, we may be right on their tails. Gonzalez in 4th is out really wide again. It looks like he's feeling the pressure. That's the 2nd time in a lap he's run out wide. Fernandez is right on his tail. Has he got the momentum to pull alongside and try and make a move to snatch that 4th position? We're waiting behind to pounce if anything goes wrong. Fernandez is going for it up the inside. Is he close enough? No, not quite. But they're both going to run out a little wide into this left-hander, so if we can make a tight apex and get on the gas early, we might have the speed to challenge here. And in fact, we're faster than both of them, but the only space is on the outside, so we're going to have to gun it here. We're alongside and past Gonzalez. Have we got the pace to get alongside Fernandez? We're going to have to run it around the outside. This is going to be a brave move. I was worried about carrying too much speed and losing the rear, but we've done it. We've got the position. However, Fernandez is going to fight right back, and we get hit from behind by Gonzalez. Oh, I had to fight to keep the car on the track then. That was a big hit from Gonzalez. And at the same time, I was trying to switch back to tuck it up the inside of Fernandez on the exit of that right-hander, but we weren't able to do it. And somewhere in that melee, we've picked up a slowdown penalty as well. But the last thing I want to do is ease off now, because we're putting Fernandez under more pressure, and we've got the pace to run alongside him, but we're going to be on the outside for the hairpin. We're not going to get around there. If Fernandez does run it in hot, we may be able to tuck it back up the inside, but he's held his line perfectly. Thankfully, we've got rid of the slowdown penalty through that hairpin, so we won't have to give away any more time. So now it's going to be a fight for 4th position over this final lap and a bit. But the big question is, are we going to see any weaknesses in Fernandez's armour? As we run it in a little bit hot into this left-hander, we missed the apex. That's going to cost us a 10th or 2. But if we can just get back online and get on the gas early out of this corner, we should be able to challenge. We can tuck back in behind Fernandez to get some draft. We're using P2P. We're doing everything we can. But which way is he going to go? We're going to have to commit to the outside line, and we're on the grass. Can we pull off the same move that we did a lap ago? No, we can't. We're not quite far enough alongside him. And this is the last lap now, so it's our last chance to try and snatch 4th position. And Fernandez has run in too hot. He's out onto the grass. This is our opportunity to pounce, and we've tucked it up the inside. There's a bit of contact between Fernandez and Gonzalez behind too, and that's going to work to our advantage. But yeah, it really has done. Look, Fernandez is 0.8 of a second behind. Oh, really dramatic stuff here on the last lap at Suzuka. I thought I'd thrown that 4th position away when I crashed a few laps ago. I didn't think I was going to get the opportunity to take the positions back, but we have done. And it's vital that we hit the apex of this hairpin. We don't want to leave any gaps or open up any opportunities for these guys to hit back. We've got through okay, and we've still got a 0.7 advantage over Fernandez back in 5th. And the checkered flag is out, so Luigi has crossed the line to take a runaway victory. So that means we're only a couple of corners away from claiming this 4th position. And there's a car parked up in the middle of the track, and that's Wellington. He was in 2nd place. So Wellington must have run out a few yards from the line. And incredibly, we're going to get a podium finish, an unlikely podium finish here at Suzuka. Oh, what a race that was. Yeah, what a race indeed, and after throwing away 4th place, I didn't think I was going to get it back, but this was where I had a glimmer of hope, and it was a brave move, gunning it around the outside of this fast left-hander. And fortune did indeed favour the brave on this occasion, because I got around both of them, but then I made the mistake of going back to the racing line. I should have defended when I had the inside, because that invited Fernandez to bite right back. So then the next lap we had to try it all over again. By this time Gonzalez is a little bit further behind, but we try an outside move for the 2nd time around Fernandez. This time it doesn't work, so we have to tuck back in behind Fernandez, but thankfully the pressure paid off, because Fernandez just breaks a little bit too late into this right-hander. Look, he's way out onto the grass. We almost followed him out, but thankfully we had a tight enough line to make the pass stick. And at that point, I never even suspected that we might be on for a podium, but that's what happened, because here's Tron Wellington, who was running in 2nd place. But you can see that that car has used up every last litre of fuel, and it's going nowhere. Certainly not the best place to park your car, right in the middle of the track, but thankfully Suzuka is wide enough for us all to get around. So yeah, fantastic race that one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's my first RaceRoom ranked video for a fortnight, and it's safe to say after that RaceRoom is back with a bang. Let's check out the final classified results, and there we can see an unlikely podium finish. We get 3rd. Forbes Graham also profited from Wellington's fuel miscalculation on that last lap. He gets promoted to 2nd to lead the SCB boys home. Elsewhere, Nick Campbell got up into the top 10. He finished 9th, with Jason Spooner in 12th, and Derek Poon, after that disastrous opening lap, managed to get 17th. So from my point of view, a really enjoyable race all round, this one, and I'm glad we entered. We only decided to enter at the very last minute. It was an impromptu raid on a ranked server organised on our SCB Discord channel, and if you're interested in joining the SCB community, I'll leave an invitation link in the description to this video. Although we're predominantly a RaceRoom community, we do race across all the main sims and we have a busy weekly schedule of racing. Speed and abilities aren't important. We're all about racing with your mates and having fun. So if that sounds up your street, please do come along and join us. And please do leave a like as well if you've enjoyed watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. Thanks again for watching, guys, and enjoy your racing this weekend. Cheers for now.